Did you fart?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Shots from the Winchester podcast. We're going to do another episode today of Get to Know the GACer, and today I have with me Luiz Mendoza.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's Friday.
Good. Also, it is Friday, and even though we drink most days of the week here, we're going to do a shot today on Friday. We're in the Winchester.
Okay.
So you pick. What do
My
you do?
choice, I would like to have whiskey, please.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Bartender's going to spin that up for us.
Spicy.
It's key to smell it like that, you know.
There you go.
There you go.
Very cool shot glass.
Yes, very.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Very
cool.
on brand, as they say.
Amen. Amen.
All right, so to
Cheers.
Greencastle.
Greencastle.
Okay.
That's delicious.
That actually is really good.
That was very good.
Got a little bite to it, but
Yes.
I have to apologize. Our bartender's rolling around in the back there. So,
Okay. Thank you very much, Joe.
all right. So, Luis,
Yes.
want to learn about you. Audience wants to learn about you.
Sure.
So, tell us what you do here at Greencastle.
I'm a risk and issues manager.
Okay.
So basically what that does is, for the project I'm working on, is working with our client in monitoring and tracking any type of risk or issue that may be coming up or projected or at the moment of maybe causing any type of delays, interruptions, what we refer to as my previous life friction points, to have them identify them and come up with solutions and recommendations. My job is to monitor that, track that, and then I have weekly meetings with our clients that are involved with a certain type of releases, basically upgrades. And there's a release coming up here soon, another release coming out later on this year. And so I review that with the individuals and as well as within our team here with the Greencastle, and then come up with some recommendations, if not solutions. So that's what I do.
Pretty impressive stuff.
I try.
Do you like it?
I do. It's very challenging. I'm learning every day, especially in this type of industry. You may not know what you hear. Definitely different, utilizing different terminologies, but also just be very open and frank. One of the actual values we have here in Greencastle is taking care of the customer, i.e. the client, but also being honest and being open enough to actually ask, and so you can learn.
Cool. So how did you find yourself here?
So I came across, I know a couple people here on the leadership team. They've been after me for a couple years to come work for Greencastle. So I came across this during, it was called a Skill Bridge program. So with me being in the military, probably 30 plus years, three concerns I had when I leave in the military, retiring, is culture, environment, and people. Obviously, those that are in uniform understand those type of values, and my concern is working with the four people that don't understand that type of teamwork would cause some friction for myself, should I say, or not being happy because of my point in my career right now. You can get paid a lot of money, but if you're not happy, that's what life is about.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
So
as we know, everybody that works here is currently serving or has served, so we're 100% better known and operated. We have, I think, about 100 people here, so that's pretty impressive. So you have a military background just like everybody else does, but
Yes.
I'd love to hear specifics about your military background, hit the high points, what did you do, what were you part of? I know some of it, but interested
Sure.
to hear.
So I enlisted in active duty back in 1989, right out of high school. I went to college for a semester and come to realize that I was not mature enough, and I was not ready for that. So in order to pay back my parents for what they paid for throughout my entire life, I joined the military, the Army specifically, to pay for my college once I did my initial tour, and then also I wanted to travel to Europe. So I got lucky enough and selected, joined as an infantryman, and actually went to West Germany. So I had the opportunity, luxury, positive and negative. I got to see the Berlin Wall come down back in '90. So that was it was a positive, but also some scary times. Seeing West Germany, East Germany becoming one country. Obviously, whenever I say West Germany, certain individuals, especially with my kids, they look at me very unusual. Plus, it's not a dad joke. So, I come to teach them that Germany used to be two countries, and now it's just one country. I'm glad I got to experience that, seeing different two cultures, and then moved on to college. Commissioned as an officer, field artillery, and then I just recently retired. I had all the leadership positions within the battalion as an officer, and my last one was a battalion commander, that was probably my best job, my favorite job, and I retired with 32 plus years in the military.
And you ended in the PA Guard.
Yes, I graduated. I retired from the Pennsylvania Army National Guard at the end of May.
Yeah,
so
gotta represent. Obviously, both being Guard, PA
absolutely.
Guard,
Yeah, absolutely.
gotta represent. So that's really cool.
Yes.
So you've obviously learned a lot through that time. I mean, give us like one leadership lesson that you've learned throughout those 30 plus years.
The one thing that I've learned is my first deployment to Iraq. Leadership is what you do with people, not to people. At that point in time, I came across definitely a toxic, what we refer to now, a toxic leader at the time, all carried out himself, and did not take care of their soldiers. And I took it upon myself to go above and beyond in taking care of our soldiers because I came from a sister battalion and I was new, but at the same time, I definitely wanted to do the best and support our soldiers and take care and make sure we bring everybody home safely. So
that's a great lesson.
Yes.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
That's huge.
It is.
So I'd love to hear about your family. I know that's
Okay.
really important to you. You're first generation in the USA. Your mom and dad, is that correct?
Correct.
So I'd love to hear about that, where you're from and all that.
So I'm a first generation here in the United States. Both of my parents were born and raised in Colombia, South America. It's great. It's a great perspective. I remember growing up and being born in Manhattan, living in the projects. So you always got to remember where you came from, and you always want to continue moving forward and as well as excel and do better than what your parents and provide better for yourself and for your own children. So I do remember that, and I always anything I do, I always remember that because obviously when my dad came here in the United States, did not speak English very well, as well as my mother. So they've been here, over 50 plus years, and then they eventually both became citizens. And at the same time, they taught me to do the best you can. And I think that's what drove me to join the military, to give back and support the country. Even though that was another country of their own, when they were born from. At the same time, my dad became part of the politics, and he sat in city council, and one of the first Latinos, Hispanics, to sit on city council, and was able to provide a lot of first new things in Lancaster. That's where I reside for like the Marriott Hotel and the new police station. He was able to help and provide funding for that and improve that. So obviously family is number one. Obviously a couple siblings. My brother and his family live in Naples, Florida, and then my sister resides in Lancaster with me as well. Her husband with 2 children. So.
Okay, and you have your own children?
Yes, I have my own children. So obviously my son, Luis II, he's 20. He's an upcoming junior at Temple University. So go Owls. All right. At the same time, my daughter, she's a rising senior. So right now we're doing the whole college thing, doing essays and about to do college visits. And her goal is to become a counselor. So we're looking at schools that provide psychology, and they both probably want to go to a graduate level of studies. So that's what we're looking to do. And her goal is to try to play field hockey in college, either Division II or Division III. So that's right now we're negotiating that and about to plan a lot of college visits throughout the East Coast.
Okay,
Right,
so she got some of that athleticism from you, right? Because you're into soccer, outdoorsman stuff like hiking. So
Yeah, it's not only for myself, but also for my late wife. She went to college on a scholarship for lacrosse. So, like I say, late wife, unfortunately, she passed away in 2018 after a 10-year battle of breast cancer. So obviously that's, it was a huge setback, not only for myself, but also for my children, because, we were married for 22 years, and it's something that you don't never plan for, to lose your spouse. But the biggest thing is what I thrive on now is, I have a quote, is I can, I will, I must. So anything I do, it's all about my kids, and as well as whatever you come across a challenge, you need to overcome. You will fail, but it's not about when you fail, it's about how long you stand on your knee or on your back and stand up and continue moving forward. So.
Yeah, just for everybody out in the audience land, Luis is one of the most positive people I've probably ever met. So I think that's really cool that you've had some of this adversity, yet you still are extremely positive. And I think that speaks volumes to the person that you are. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So I think that's really cool. So talk about soccer. I know you're like really into it. I mean, you said it's football.
Yes.
Right?
So it's,
am I saying that
correctly?
correctly?
Yeah, football.
Okay.
So football, obviously the world sport. So it's in my blood, especially with my parents being from Colombia. So here in the United States, like college football, American football, we're very passionate. But everywhere in the world, when you go to, we don't call it a game, we call it a match. Granted here, college stadiums are very large. One here in Pennsylvania, obviously Penn State, could seat over 100,000. But you need to understand, in other parts of the country, like I just get goosebumps in my hair standing that they go to a match, and they're getting easily between 50 to 80,000 people every week. Here in the United States, really only big college games you get that, or even NFL. So it's passionate, it runs it through my blood, and obviously the teams that I support, U.S. and the Colombian national team, men's and women's, the USA, men's and women's team, as well as locally here, the Philadelphia Union,
Yeah.
Yes.
I know that's like a really big culture in other countries, and here it's like American football is the thing. So
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I think it's kind of like the equivalent of like, over there is like soccer is.
Yeah, it's hard to describe rivalries, but I guess in college football, Penn State against Ohio State, it's almost like, and obviously down south, college football is huge, so, within interstate, you have Florida and Florida State, so that's a huge rivalry. So it's like that, but every week. And at the same time too is that, besides our country team that I support and follow, and our local team here from MLS, another team that I follow very closely for many, many years, is Newcastle United. So it's, some people may not even heard of that. Just don't think of Newcastle, they think of the beer. So.
True.
So.
I'm always impressed with soccer because there's a lot of running involved. I don't like running. I used to like running, but not anymore. But I'm always very impressed with all the athleticism that's in soccer. Just constant running back and forth. Like the cardio is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's, like I volunteered coach when my son was going to high school and on a team. And the one thing that I even love about the sport and the passion, especially with, Paul being from England and some of our lads, how we refer to, or mates. Football is one of those sports that I try to teach my son and his friends because they represented a lot of countries. And then when I was coaching, we had about 12 kids from different countries, and they were speaking different languages. So I told them to learn and support each other because that's how the world is. Many kids from different countries and learn the language, the religion, their holidays, their food, and that's how you become more worldly, become aware, rather than being just very narrow-minded. But I taught them is take care of each other, but at the same time, football is a sport that you don't need to speak the language, let the ball do the work, and as well as just like music. You don't have to understand the language, but you can actually get the sense of the feeling for the music. And you can see the kids lit up, and that's why I try to teach them, and ultimately become successful young men.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, last couple things I want to talk about your dog.
Okay.
So, tell us about your dog. You have a very athletic dog. Too.
Very athletic, high energy, intelligent, bright. My fiance and I, we adopted a Belgian Malinois. So if you don't understand what a Belgian Malinois is, it looks like a German Shepherd, but shorter hair And those are the type of breeds that are typically utilized without the police force, as well as our armed forces. And so very bright, high energy driven, intelligent, and a quick learner. So you got to definitely, we're spending a lot of time and energy to train, but at the same time, you need to exercise and exercise and exercise. And that breed will continue going. And we're both learning, good and bad, what to do and what not to do with this dog. And his name is Addis. So.
Does that name have any meaning?
It means earth.
Oh.
So when we adopted him from one of the places, my fiance and I, we volunteer our time. It's a Davis Dog Farm. So if you're thinking about adopting a dog, they're located in Grantville. At the same time, another organization that I volunteer my time by giving back is Wreaths Across America. So that's an organization that they provide wreaths on every actual gravestone for every federal military cemetery on every tombstone. So that's what we typically do every December. But they gave him that name, and it stuck, and it was different, and we just kept it going. We kept it going. So
yeah, I think that's really cool that you're giving back to the community too. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think that's a common theme with people here at Greencastle. Like, we have this job, we've served in the military, and then to continue to serve, everybody's kind of like doing things outside of here for like a nonprofit,
Correct.
which I think is really great and just makes you like a better person, I think.
Yes.
So, last thing.
Okay.
What's your favorite IPA?
My favorite IPA, since I love IPAs, I do like, based upon the season, so right now, if it's like a hazy, fruity, I like that, but currently right now, my favorite IPA is Trogs Perpetual.
Okay.
Trogs Perpetual. And
That's
it's
a
better.
good
It's
one.
better on draft.
Right,
It's better
and
on draft.
Local.
I got to support the local economy and business. They're located in Hershey, PA.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in Hershey, PA, Trogs, you can't go wrong. You
Good
can't go
stuff.
wrong.
Well, it was really nice to sit and talk
Oh,
with you,
thank you.
learn more about you. Everybody out there, please like and subscribe to our podcast wherever you're listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Definitely.
Luis, it was
Thank you.
Really nice to
Hey, take
talk to
care.
you.
Have a great day. Thank
Yeah,
you very
you too.
much.